In this extra creepy Halloween 2024 edition of the Dandy Spook Shack, we're going to try the all-new Monster Cereal Carmella Creeper. Also, we're going to unbox, figure out how to play, and do a full review on the brand new extra creepy board game, Finders Creepers. Let's step into the Spook Shack.
Where am I?
You've just entered the Dandy Spook Shack.
Hello and welcome to the Dandy Spook Shack. I'm your ghost with the most, the ghoul of cool, Neil Dandy. And welcome to my haunted studio. Today, we're going to dig into some Carmella Creeper cereal, as well as review the board game Finders Creepers. But first, I want to tell you all about the brand new extra creepy Dandy Funhouse t-shirts. They come with a front and a back so you don't get cold, and also 4 holes in them. One to crawl your body into, one to poke your hopefully not decapitated head out of, 2 to poke your arms through. How's that? I couldn't have done better with a pair of scissors. Go to dandyfunhouse.com and get yours today. Oh, and while you're over at dandyfunhouse.com, check out the all-new gear for the all-new line of products, Coffee Badger. Why Coffee Badger? Well, a Coffee Badger is somebody who works remotely but has to go into the office once in a while to make an appearance for absolutely no apparent reason, because their boss doesn't want to feel like they wasted all that money buying the office space. So if you're a Coffee Badger, you go in, you make your presence known, you grab a cup of coffee, you throw it down the old pipe, and then you wave adios and go back home to get all your real work done. Back to your own little haunted mansion, dungeon, whatever you're doing. Now, maybe you live in a tree and hang upside down with all the bats. I don't really know what you do. Hey, speaking of bats, you know what? Before we dig into this box of Carmella Creeper, it might be a real good idea to call upon someone who knows their bats. Who knows bats better than Count Dracula? Hey, do you think if we try real hard, we can summon Count Dracula? Let's try it. Calling Count Dracula! Calling Count Dracula! You're not Count Dracula.
No, I'm Count Drahooon. Sorry, Dracula couldn't make it tonight. He's actually on vacation right now, so they sent me.
Wait. Aren't you the vampire that took over my show a couple Halloweens ago and reviewed all the monster cereals?
I sure am.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Count Drahoon! The powers that be must have just saw that we were introducing a new monster cereal, Carmella Creeper.
Ooh.
And thought that you might be the better fit, I guess.
Well, I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually ingested human food, but I'll be happy to give it a try.
Well, that sounds great. I'll try it with you. I've actually got 2 blood red bowls.
Oh, beautiful. No milk, though. We're eating this Depression era style, right?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Of course.
I found this box of Carmella Creeper in the grocery store just last week. I was checking out the Monster Cereals. I was like, I have not seen this Monster Cereal before. I mean, is it brand new? I don't know. So I took it off the shelf, and I learned a little bit about Carmella here. I mean, she's a zombie. Okay?
Oh, so she is.
She's Frankenberry's long-lost cousin, and she's a DJ. And she likes to spin at parties at the Haunted Mansion.
Wiki.
And apparently her flavor is caramel apple.
Okay, it sounds good on paper, but...
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking there myself.
All right, are we ready?
I'm ready if you are. Hey, you guys want to open this box of Carmella Creeper?
Let's do it. Let's dive right into it.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's wait. We didn't really look at the box too closely,
Yeah,
did we?
let's examine.
All right.
So we have what's her name again? Carmella Creeper. Yeah, she's right here. She looks, she looks pretty hip, I'd say. You know, this is what the kids are into.
Yeah, she's got kind of a Latina vibe going on to
Yeah,
her.
I could see that.
Especially with a name like Carmella.
Maybe we're saying it wrong. Maybe it's not Carmella Creeper, it's Carmella Creeper. But that's not really, that's not
more
Spanish.
French.
That's more
like
French.
That's like if you're eating crepes.
Like, oh, maybe she can have like a French alter ego when they do like a crepe flavored cereal.
Looks like she's holding a swirly bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really green though. And I'm a little concerned about that because sometimes this color green, it could be really hit or miss. So, but then again, this is kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe some of you spooks and spookettes know better than me because I'm old, but this is kind of like standard club lighting, isn't it? Like this kind of green? Or is this more like a traffic light?
I don't know. I'm more worried about what sort of chemicals they put in there. Like,
oh no, definitely. I'm more worried.
I mean, you being what 3,000 years old?
Well, not quite that. 1,000.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it would preserve you longer than you'd like to be preserved. I mean, formaldehyde, I don't know.
It might preserve me less.
it looks like we have some skulls in there, a swirly bat. I mean, she's even got a little snake friend up there.
Mm-hmm. And the snake friend's got stitches too. So it's like
zombie snake.
Yeah, a zombie snake or a Franken snake, however you want to spice that.
What's on the rest of the box? Like, let's have a look at the sides. I think she's holding up a certain finger on one of the sides. On the side I'm looking at.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, yeah, she's pointing up.
It's more of a number one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not the other finger.
Yeah, this is a kid's cereal.
And she's got black fingernails.
She does.
And another zombie snake friend.
So yeah, and the fingernails. It's like, is this a fashion statement or is this her corpse? You know, because they could be rotting fingernails. Maybe both. I don't know. I don't judge. I don't discriminate.
They don't look like they're falling off her hands.
No, so they probably are manicured that way. So that's a good sign. Yeah, we got Frankensnake down here, and it's with frightful friends marshmallows.
Oh yeah, what's on the back?
On the back, I kind of like the back. It's got this little interesting. Let's see, it's like a. Oh, okay. So like it's like a different rooms in the house. So like each of these pets are doing different things.
Yes,
So you got the snake. He's doing the DJ scratch, as it were. And then let's see. There's an Igor, Count Chocula's fearless guard spider. He's fiercely loyal. Can you find his teddy bear? So it's like a little scavenger hunt on the back of the cereal box. So that could that can keep you preoccupied for a couple of minutes.
I like it. So this is the haunted mansion where she throws all her DJ parties. Oh, and she's got the Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Boo Berry and a little kitty cat.
Yes.
Meowberry.
Ooh. I like puns. I appreciate a good pun from time to time.
All right. Well,
let's
try Carmella's cereal.
Let's do it. There you go.
And that is some bright green cereal there.
It's very, very bright green. There we go. Kind of pretty.
That's just really not right.
It it does kind of.
It looks like I remember the last Monster cereals we had. They tasted like styrofoam covered with sugar. All right, let's try it. That's not bad. I'm really not getting the caramel apple thing.
I'm not either. It's sugary. There's a very slight hint of the caramel apple towards the end. It's more like an aftertaste, but it's basically like fruit stripe gum. It's here and there.
I'm gonna try one of these marshmallow bats, although it doesn't. I mean, it's more like a shriveled, dried up corpse of a marshmallow.
Mine's seen better days as well.
I tend to be getting more of the caramel apple thing off the marshmallow, but
really?
Still not much. It's more I feel like we've been taken in by another gimmick.
No, I think you're right. See, it's funny because I don't taste the caramel apple with the shriveled up bat. Let me try the shriveled up. There's also a shriveled up jack-o'-lantern. Kind of looks like a really deformed Smartie.
Actually, that's not a jack-o'-lantern.
It's not. What is that?
That's Frankenberry.
Oh.
She's Frankenberry's long-lost cousin.
That's right. Well, Frankenberry looks like he's seen better days.
Yes, I think they all have. Look.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not getting the caramel apple and the marshmallows. It just tastes like straight sugar marshmallow to me.
Now, this is indeed General Mills' very first female cereal monster.
Stunning and brave.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly. Yes, that's what we have to say by law now. I mean, it's
With a hashtag.
Yes. She was introduced in 2023, but I did not see her on the shelf.
I completely missed that.
I didn't see her on the shelf until this year, so I don't know where they were keeping her, but
In the dungeon.
I guess. But anyway, well, there's Carmella Creeper. What are we rating this cereal?
So, not as good as Count Chocula.
No.
I think
Not a chance.
Count Chocula is just the best. You can't beat it because
Well, I wouldn't know because you ate the whole box.
I did eat the whole. I'm sorry about
That's
that. I owe you a box of Count Chocula, but Count Chocula is by far the best. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I think I said that Frankenberry was a close second. Frankenberry was decent, but then once you get into Boo Berry, and then what was the other one? The fruit. It was the fruit one with the werewolf on the cover of it.
Oh, Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute. They tasted eerily similar together. I have to say, I will put this above Fruit Brute.
Yeah, I would too.
Because you can, there is some semblance of a caramel apple flavor to it, but it's very, very faint. So I would rate it better than Fruit Brute, but not quite as good as Boo Berry.
Not quite as good as the classics that
Right,
like
exactly.
the big main three.
Exactly.
Okay, well then there you've got it. Carmella Creeper, everybody. And I believe we're going to continue snacking on Carmella Creeper while we check out the game of Finders Creepers.
That looks kind of fancy.
Now they did a really good look at the packaging. We got a little thing here. You move it around.
Oh.
And you find things in the box by moving this little viewfinder around.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Micro Games of America, MGA. It's an app-vanced game. Now, what that means is that there's, what do you call it? Enhanced reality? What reality? Where you use your phone with it, and you find things out in the real world that go with this. You hunt digital monsters with your phone.
So we're giving kids more of an excuse to use their phone.
That's pretty much the idea here.
Wow.
Now, normally on this show, I shy away from board games in particular, and anything that doesn't have a tangible object that does something interesting. But since this is the Halloween episode, I figured this had an interesting box, and you're going to be able to find animated ghouls and spooky things in here with your phones. I figured it might make for an interesting episode.
I think so.
Or we might find out that this is a complete piece of garbage.
A complete dud. Just like the Carmella Creeper.
So here we've got the Finders Creepers box. I really like the way they've done this because
it's pretty eye-catching.
That's what caught my eye was the eye-catchiness of it. So so you've got the front of it here where you can kind of use this thing to move around and find things on the box. I think it's just a piece of white cardboard behind it that makes stuff show up a little better.
But still.
Good packaging.
Mm-hmm.
And have a look at the sides here. Sides are pretty much all the same. Good graphics though. And then on the back, you have a shot of the board itself. how you would use your phone, looking at the board. Apparently you see the monsters jumping out of the board at you. That's how you find them, and you're supposed to hunt monsters. I believe you capture 3 of them to win. And then apparently the monsters can appear around the room.
This is already starting to feel like a Black Mirror episode.
What is the Black Mirror?
So it's this show. It's kind of like the modern Twilight Zone, just minus a host, but it's like cautionary sci-fi and horror tales in an anthology format. And I just feel like something like the idea that you're playing with monsters that come out of your phone, that just strikes me as a Black Mirror episode.
Oh yes, absolutely. By the way, you have just flown back from Hollywood.
I did.
And your bat wings must be very, very tired.
That's why I said I had a really. It was a long flight getting here.
Now, I'm here trying to open this box of Finder's Creepers, and I'm not having much luck with it. I cannot figure out how they've got this thing sealed up. I don't see any tape on it.
Must be packed in really tight. Oh, I think you got it. Yeah, you got it.
Well, no, I've got a bit of it. I don't want to tear it, though.
Right.
I might be onto something here. I think. Here it is. There's a.
Wow.
There's a flap on the end with 2 pieces of tape. Okay, but that means I have to have a sharp object. Sing a song. I'll be back with a sharp object.
A song. How about a poem instead? Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over a many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "only this, and nothing more." Ah, yes, I remember, 'twas the bleak December, and every dying ember wrought its course upon my books, surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore.
Let's slice it open and see what we got.
There we go. Slasher rules apply.
There we go. To open the coffin lid. Oh, it magnetizes closed.
Oh, that's why you couldn't get it open.
It's got a magnet that pulls it closed.
That's kind of neat.
They've really gone all out on the presentation here.
Wow.
It's an entire graveyard. Look at this.
That's beautiful artwork, actually.
It was the fateful night the relentless members of Invisible Incorporated had been waiting for. The paranormal hunters tracked down the tombs. 12 of the most horrible monsters you could imagine. Was it a mistake to open their graves and release them onto the world? Let's not quibble about that now. There are monsters to be caught. Each member wants to prove they are the best and find and catch these creepers. Inside the horrible haunted house, get ready to join the mission. Now, this is kind of like an advent calendar, actually.
It does kind of look a little bit like
You want to do the honors?
Sure. It's so...
I mean, you're the one who poofed in on me.
Oh, so you peel open the first flap. So for Abby Stabby, battery included is what the first gravestone says. You get this little number, this little chip right here, and let me tell you, she is a beaut, just an absolute beaut.
Now, is she one of the monsters?
Yes, yeah.
Must be. Oh,
yeah,
she's the
Abby
little girl.
Stabby is the
Here,
monster.
go ahead and set her to the side. We're going to have to break her out anyway.
Sure. Papa Poppets?
Papa Poppets.
Papa Poppets. Ooh. I kind of like this one. It's got a little bit of... did you ever watch pro wrestling in the 90s?
A little bit. I wasn't much of a wrestling ghoul.
Well, there was a professional wrestler named Papa Shango who was like sort of like a voodoo guy, and that's kind of what he reminds me of a little bit. Some of these don't feel entirely original.
I will say they're not flimsy.
No.
They're let's see, what do we got? Curse the Cat. They are on cardboard, but they're on nice, thick cardboard. Like I've reviewed some games where it's just like little cheap, flimsy, floppy things, and just a scary black cat. And
I like that.
No, cats don't really get scary on their own. I think things make them scary.
I think so too.
I think cruel humans make them scary.
Right, especially when you're walled up in one.
Yes.
Walled up with one.
Yes, House of Wax.
No, Cask of Amontillado.
Oh, yes. Yeah, or the Black Cat.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking. Black Cat, not Cask of
Well, the one where the cat was in the wall meowing, the Vincent Price, was not House of Wax?
No, that was the Black Cat.
The Black Cat,
There isn't a Black Cat in House of Wax.
Gotcha.
But it's the same guy. Next up, we have Harper the Hag. Is it a boy?
I think a hag is usually reserved for a female.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was thinking.
Like the sea hag from Popeye.
Mm-hmm. But I guess nowadays this hag can be gender neutral.
Well, I mean, Well, once you visit the Vanderbilt Clinic, anything goes.
All right, so Sir Henry Chestershire. It's like a werewolf cat.
A werewolf cat?
That's what it looks like to me.
No, that's just a werewolf. That's a werewolf.
But Chestershire, that's kind of like a...
That's a very cat name, yeah.
It's a very cat name.
But it's kind of British, so, the whole Werewolf of London kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Slim Grim. This is more of... Well, I'll let you do the honors.
Let me there we go.
No, thank you. This is more of a ghoul. Kind of
it looks like Bat Boy.
Yes, kind of.
Bat Boy's all grown up and he's working as an accountant for Charles Schwab.
I guess these are the instructions. Mm-hmm. The rule book. Now, I did take the liberty of going online and watching a video on how to play. The video was 12 minutes long, and there were 5 million rules to this thing. And it was just the most convoluted, complicated thing I'd ever read in my life. I kind of just want to pull out the board game, flash my phone at it, and look at the cool monsters. And it should just be obvious how you play it.
Sure.
But they from what I saw, it's very... Now, I'm hoping once we actually get in and play this thing, that'll all go away and it'll be real obvious. But, okay, so the first thing is... You have to download the app. Whether you're on iPhone or Android, you've got to download the app. And I have already done that. And I'm going to go ahead and launch the app.
This is a neat looking app, though, I must say.
Welcome, members of Invisible Inc., the premier paranormal investigation organization. I'm your AI assistant, Boogle.
Run.
Your guide through your mission.
You've got a tutorial here. This tutorial is 12 minutes long. We're not going to do that today.
What? A 12-minute tutorial?
I'll scan through some of this. It pulls it up on YouTube.
12 monster tombstone tiles, 8 run special action chips, and 8 gear special action chips. You can pause. I'll wait. The monster guide shows you the gear needed to catch each of the monsters. Your app includes the monster guide as well. Each monster has an icon associated with them. Place the tombstone tiles on the corresponding icons. Find the full list of icons in the rulebook. Now, get the gear tiles ready. There are 6 kinds of gear to collect. Separate out the 6 haunted object and 4 holy object tiles. Set 4 of the haunted object tiles aside. Shuffle the upside-down gear tiles and make 12 stacks of 3 tiles. Now, shuffle up the remaining 6 gear, 2 haunted object, and 4 holy object tiles, and randomly deal 1 to the bottom of each of the...
Be sure to hold your left earlobe while standing on your right leg.
Mm-hmm. And be sure to scratch there, sniff that.
Casey, Haley, Ruth, or Diego.
Who are those
player who
people?
last
They're the
soloed
monster
goes
hunters.
First.
Okay.
If no one has spotted a spirit, the oldest player goes first.
That's discriminatory.
Age before beauty or whatever. Place your hunter figurine at the enter gate. Now, let's use the app to set up a mission. One player must be the host, and the other players will join their mission.
So you would have to download the app and then join my mission with your phone. I'm trying to stop this thing.
You can't. It doesn't stop. It never ends.
Once everyone is done, it's time to start the mission.
I mean, all that, and we haven't even started it yet. Oh, I had to swipe the whole app away. Now I'm back at it.
12 minutes?
12 minutes of that, and it's really complicated how you move from room to room, find things, and if you don't do something right, it sends you back. Okay, there's a bunch of cards here, and I guess you have to punch them all out.
Okay. Oh, it's like demonic Beauty and the Beast.
Fire extinguisher. You've got the Necronomicon.
Yeah, this is a lot to break down.
There nets and like
Oh, and you have to punch those out too.
and Ghostbusters cannons, and these are all the things you use to catch the ghosts. And then you've got a blowtorch and some kind of spike.
So so everyone gets these, or do you get to choose?
I'm
like,
not
your
really
weapon?
sure, but and it would take you so long to learn what you have to
Right.
do. I'm not quite sure I want to sit through all that. We have no. This is not. These appear to be the cards which show the different monsters, and they're kind of the size of tarot cards.
They do look a bit tarot-esque.
And maybe Garbage Pail Kids. Abby Stabby, Bully Bones, Curse the Cat, Grins the Ghost, Harp the Hag. Basically all the monsters we've already introduced you to. So you got 3 dice. Over here we've got even more cards. And
It's all the same thing.
it's all the same monsters,
just
only
different.
just a little small.
It looks like a tiny Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
And then you've got how to play. Now check this out. How to play. Got it. I will say they've gone all out on the graphics. They've really gone. I'm sure maybe once you spend some time with this and really get into it. Here, how to play. You've got all these instructions. We're still going here. Still going.
And just
Do you want to read all that?
out of curiosity, how long do most instruction manuals last for your basic board game?
Most games that I review, there's usually like a one-sheet thing.
A one sheet, and
And
that's
at the most, it's maybe 2 page. It's like a little regular size piece of paper,
Right.
And it may be printed on one side and printed on the other, sometimes in Spanish. You know what I haven't found yet?
What's that?
The board, the game board.
Hmm.
Where's the actual game board itself?
Is it under that?
Oh, it is under here. It looked like the bottom of the. Is it under here? It kind of looks like it is. It has to be. Let me get out my knife here. That's got to be the game board. It's just kind of there's a slot in the
That's
bottom.
kind of neat.
I was about to rip this whole thing apart.
Wow.
Now you want to give instructions. That's what you should give the instructions on.
Right, how to get everything.
There, would you like the knife?
Sure, let's see. I'll be very ginger.
I got to tell you what, I absolutely refuse to read all this in a game review.
And I don't...
It's just not going to happen. I'm going to put that over there. We're going to open the board. We're going to have whatever kind of fun we can have with this thing. And then we're going to give you our thoughts.
Okay.
And I'll leave it up to you guys to decide if you want to explore further and find out more about. I will say
It's a
that-
really nice...
that right there is one thing I do hate. I always hate that little quarter cut. That thing always bugs the heck out of me. Yeah, I mean, come on. But that aside, look at the size of this thing.
It's a beautiful board.
That's amazing. Here is our game board. and I'm going to host the game. You can choose a high intensity or a low intensity on the app on your phone. And I think we're going to go for high intensity.
Oh, so we're going to...
Well, it's a high intensity show. I'm going to choose high intensity.
Year of your birth. I'll know if you don't.
It's a little bit of a nosy question.
I would say, all right, 35 AD. You must be 13. you must. It says you must be 13 years old to play the high intensity level. Now that we've lied to the app, boy, is that an age authenticator if I ever saw it. House location. I'll just create it. It's showing some interesting graphics here.
I've never done anything like this.
I have never either. So apparently this is, you choose which hunter you want. I'm feeling Diego because he's...
Let's go with Diego. All right, just downloaded.
Oh, I hit the ready. Get ready game is started. Scan the board first.
The monsters are out. Spot them before they're gone.
Here come the monsters. Okay, so now you can see the monsters on the board.
Oh, well, that's kind of neat.
I guess you have to memorize what rooms they're all in. It's my turn. Okay. Catch. Where are you? Touch room. Sure. I don't know. Sure, I'll touch a room. Numbskull the clown. Choose. Sure, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Discard these gear tiles to catch him. Okay, hit okay. Numbskull the clown in the hallway. Catch. Sure.
Well,
This failed. You'll have to repeat the grave.
Well, what just happened?
I don't know. A zombie came out and ate me. Here, I'm gonna scan. I'm gonna scan for monsters. Where are you? Touch the room. Here, I'll touch a random room here. I'm gonna scan it for monsters. Oh, that's kind of cool. Where are you? Touch the room. Here, you want to try this?
Sure. Okay, so I'll just choose the cat. Discard. Okay. I don't remember where
in the
cat
dining
was.
room. I would
Just catch it. Okay.
Sure. See what happens.
I don't even know what. Uh-oh. Ah! I got 8.
Basically, I think the bottom line to Finders Creepers here is that this takes some time and attention.
Yes.
You have to be willing to get into it, get into the instructions, get into the game, learn the different nuances of it, and really spend some time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not. I mean, this is probably a game for somebody that has, like, intermediate gaming experience, both online and with board games. So if you're good at both of those, or really like if you have like an intermediate expertise with board gaming, I think this could be a good game for you. But for somebody that just maybe plays Monopoly casually, like you said, you're probably going to need to make room in your schedule to sort of sit down and really learn how to do this, because it does seem a bit complicated. I think it would probably be worth it though, because it's really neat how the whole game is set up. I mean, it's, it really integrates AI very well. The designs for everything is really top notch. I mean, this is a high quality game. But yeah, it does seem a bit complicated.
Yeah, this game is more for the board game enthusiast.
Yes.
Somebody who wants to roll up their sleeves and dig into a game, and it's something that I don't think they'll get bored with it quickly, because there seems to be a lot of things going on, and if you really want to get into it and really sink your teeth into it, there's a lot here to get into and sink your teeth into. So if you are an enthusiast in the whole board game thing and you like technology and monsters, I think this is amazing and it's for you.
No, I agree.
Okay, Count Drahoon, what You know, I don't think we can fairly give this a rating since all we did was give this a glancing open. So I can't really call this a full-on review, but I guess we can give our first impressions of this.
Well, for me, first impressions, I'm impressed. If I had the time, I would definitely sit down to learn how to play this game because I think this is something that I could play with my fellow spooks and spookettes.
Yes. Now I was personally ready to give this a bad review. And the reason I was ready to give it a bad review is because while I was preparing for this show, I was watching the video on how to play it, and it just got so involved that my eyes just glazed over, and I was like, black drool started coming from the corners of my mouth.
That's what it came from.
Yes. And I was just like, oh, this is horrible. This is a train wreck. Who wants to do all this? But now that I've opened it and I've looked at the quality that they've actually put into this game and how interesting they've gone into making the packaging and the development of the app. I mean, not only do you see ghouls and goblins and things in the haunted house, jumping out at you through your phone, but there are parts in it where you're going to be able to go around the room and see them actually where you're hanging out. And for that reason, I've changed my mind. I'm going to say they've knocked it out of the park with this thing. It's not for me, but it wasn't made for me.
No, I agree. This is a hardcore game enthusiast game. So on that end, if you're grading it on that curve, this gets high marks, definitely. But, like I said, if you're more of a sort of a entry-level gamer, with board games, or maybe even maybe not so much on cell phone or online games, but if you're more of a starter gamer, you might want to work your way up to this before you kind of dive in, or maybe at least try the low intensity to see if it's a better fit.
Well, I think the low intensity means it's not as scary for the little kids.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, I hope it's not as complicated on the low intensity level as it is for high intensity, because that's...
I get the feeling it is.
I just can't see a young child, under the age of 10, and I don't know. I'm 1,000 years old. So
some of those kids they're pretty sharp.
They are. I'm not trying to be disparaging in children, and they seem to grasp technology a lot better than we do. So that is a really good point. I didn't even think about that. So maybe this game is really more geared towards the 13 and under crowd, because they get technology and we're just a bunch of old guys.
Finders creepers. You can find it wherever you creep.
And losers jeepers.
So Count Drahoon, you left us here in Murfreesboro all by ourselves for a while, and I believe you went and spent some time in Hollywood, California.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So what were you doing out there? And I understand that you're now back in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So tell us about that.
Yes, so California, I was out there just trying to sort of expand the web, as it were, for, all things Count Drahoon. I think I did, to an extent. I hosted horror films out of LA for a while. But I got homesick, and I decided that it was time to come back to Tennessee, because I think things are really happening out here, and I think this is the place to be. So I wanted to come back home, and I'm back here, and I've really started hitting the ground running, because it's almost as if I never skipped a beat, because I'm back at it, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff out here in Murfreesboro.
All right, now I notice you're doing Monday night classic horror films at Hop Springs Brewery.
Yes.
Which doesn't mean a whole lot to any of you who are not in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, but it means a lot to us. So you're hosting classic horror movie nights there. What else are you doing around? That's
mostly what I'm doing right now. So Monday nights, I've dubbed it the Monster Movie Nights at Monster Movie Mondays. Excuse me. Over at Hop Springs. So I'm doing double features every Monday for October and one Wednesday. And then I'm also doing a few other shows around town. We just had one last night from where we're recording at Cedar Glade Brews. went very well. I did that with my friend Scuffle Streeman, who's Murfreesboro. Yeah, so there's a vampire in Murfreesboro, and there's also a forest troll. So this is a very strange town. But we did a live riff track of The Beast of Yucca Flats, which it's one of the worst movies ever made, but it's a lot of fun.
I like it already. I like it already.
It's a lot of fun to rip on. So
for the people who are not in Murfreesboro and they want to dig into the world of Count Drahoon.
Yeah, so I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Count Drahoon Presents, and I do movie reviews of horror films, but I've branched out a little bit. So I do like top 10 countdowns of my favorite movies of the year, and I do include non-horror titles in there. But I also do...
Have you seen The Substance?
I have. I saw that last week, or 2 weeks ago.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was insane, and I loved it.
It's not for the kids.
It is definitely not for children.
But I would say it is the most interesting sci-fi horror movie of the year.
Oh, hands down.
Not even a question. It is an experience.
It is. That's the best way to put it. It's an experience, and for me, it was a very enjoyable experience. So, if you like David Cronenberg films, you'll really love The Substance.
People can find you on YouTube. Are you still doing Count Drahoon's Feature of Fright, the podcast? What's going on in that world?
So it's a little bit on hiatus. It's not. It will come back at some point. I just don't know when. I'm trying to get reestablished here and sort of do my thing with the horror hosting. I'm going to work my way back to doing the Feature of Fright.
So basically, YouTube is where you find Count Drahoon these days.
Exactly.
All right. And where you find the Dandy Funhouse is, of course, at dandyfunhouse.com, where you can support the show. Supporters get access to exclusive bonus features, and super supporters not only get access to those exact features, but also I'll mail you something from right here at the Dandy Spook Shack if you provide your mailing address. Podcast listeners, you guys often will have a little button with a $sign on it, and you can donate to the show that way if you found any value at all. And if nothing else, 5-star reviews anywhere you can. Get our undead gratitude. I was going to say undying.
I think undead works better.
I think it does.
I like that pun better.
All right. So that's it. Count Drahoon, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Right here to the Dandy Spook Shack, where everything is always fun
and dandy.
So what do you do now? You just disappear in a puff of smoke?
What, kicking me out?
Well, the show's over.
Oh, yeah. I thought we could hang out for a while.
You maybe dig into this? I mean, that's a lot of... I mean, I guess you're undead. There's nothing but time.
Well, right, and plus we gotta finish the cereal.
It'll probably take till next Halloween to figure out how to play this thing.
Probably so. So you've got at least a 12-parter for... You've got enough content to last you for 12 Halloweens.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 rooms in that house. Well, 11 you get the tree house.
I like the
and a graveyard, so that makes 12.